Good evening, everybody. How are you? I am here tonight to talk to you about Chapter 9, and this is the big thing that you need to know about Chapter 9 right here. This is the journal entry. For most of Chapter 9, we're talking about adjusting for bad debt expense and allowance for doubtful accounts. This is an adjusting journal entry that we're going to make sure that our accounts receivable are the right amount on our balance sheet. And the way that we do that is through this allowance for doubtful accounts. See right here? It's a contra asset. It reduces the amount of accounts receivable. Okay? And we do that through this bad debt expense, which is an expense, right? And normally you're going to debit bad debt expense, and credit your allowance. All right? So that's what we're looking at for most of Chapter 9. Second part of Chapter 9 is notes receivable. I'll do something on that later, but I just want you to see this journal entry to know this is pretty much the journal entry you're going to make. The question is, how much do you make it for? Okay? And that I want to look at some problems in your book. This is exercise 9-6 in your book that I want to look at. Okay? And I'm going to it basically, in 9-6, and I'm going to do another video on this, but this is this part right here. Can you see that? It says that you have $55,000 right here in accounts receivable, and you decide 2% of it right here is not going to be collectible. Okay? 55,000 estimates 2% is going to be uncollectible. So if you do that math right here, 55,000 times 2% is $1,100. Okay? So we want our allowance account right over here to be $1,100. Okay? Now, it says that we have $415 in it already as a credit balance. You see this? Your allowance should be a credit account. Okay? You already have $415. I'm going to make it kind of bigger for you. We want it to be $1,100. So what should our adjustment be? $685. Okay? So we're going to debit bad debt expense right here for $685. And we're going to credit allowance for doubtful accounts, $685. I had to write it kind of there on the top because I didn't have room, but really it should be over here, right, as a credit, $685. Okay? That's all you have to do here for this. Now, there's something else. This second part of the question says, what if it has, look at my numbers here, get a little closer so we can see it, a $291 debit balance. Well, we still want it to be, trying to make this right, an $1,100 credit balance. So what do we have to do? If we want it to be $1,100 here in a credit, it's $291 here in a debit, we need to what? Credit it here, $1,391. So you do this same journal entry that you're doing down here, but you'd have bad debt expense for $1,391 and allowance for doubtful accounts right here for $1,391. Okay? Okay? So this is what we're talking about in Chapter 9. Now, there are different methods. This is the accounts receivable method because we're taking a percentage of accounts receivable. There's also a sales method because you're taking a percentage of sales. And there is also an aging of accounts receivable method. I'm going to go over that next, so look for that video next. Okay? Great.